Hey everybody, so we're going to go through replacing an AC gasket. You can actually clearly see, and I'll show you in just a second, what happens when you don't have that AC gasket replaced regularly. A lot of people will address their roof seals, and that's super important to do. Check them every year. But if you're not doing the AC gasket, when you do the rest of those seals, you end up with really big problems. And that's what we're getting ready to show you here. If you look up at the ceiling here, you can clearly see we've got some serious water damage um, all the way over to the side. I was actually on this roof earlier. You can't walk in that area. So we're putting together a specific plan with this customer on how we're going to get that rubber open back up, repair the damaged place, and then see if we can splice in a new section of rubber up against the existing rubber that is still over good roof decking. Outside of that, I think this customer will be okay, but this is what you want to make sure you guys address every 3-4 years. Replace this gasket. It doesn't take much. So what you're going to do, just starting off, you need to take the inside plastic housing off. It's just a couple screws. Then you're going to unhook this. That's your main harness leading to the AC control board up here. It's got two little connections right here on it. You just separate that. And then these 4 lag bolts in each corner, those all need to be replaced or taken out. Once you take that out, you can move that AC unit out of the way. I normally flip it up on its side for just a little bit of time, take a multi-tool and zip that old gasket off. Once that's done, you can actually take your new gasket and install that. And it's got an adhesive backer on it. So once you take that old gasket off, maybe use a degreaser, something like that, that'll clean that up. Then you can stick this new guy right on. I do not recommend getting the aftermarket gasket kits. They have a really weak foam gasket. It separates at the seams. I would go ahead and go with the name brand, whether it be Coleman, which is what we're working on here, or a Dometic. Between the two kits, I actually think Coleman is the best. This gasket is not very weak at all. It's nice and firm. It'll last a long time. It comes with the extra pieces too for the front or back of the AC and the foot pads for it as well. Your aftermarket kit will come with those too, but again, just because you're saving $30 or $40, you are not getting the same product. This gasket will last a lot longer, especially with it being compressed over time. Obviously, they lose that flexibility and they end up being smashed all on their own. That actually will eventually let water in. At least with this gasket, I know honestly we could probably get 5 to 7 years out of it. I really wouldn't wait that long. 3 to 4 years if you're really on top of that maintenance. Have your tech or you replace it. They're not that hard. Like I said, you just take those, unhook that harness, take that housing off, unhook the 4 lag bolts going into the AC, flip the AC on its side. I always have a multi-tool with a scraper bit or a scraper blade on it. Take that old one off, use some degreaser to get the old adhesive off, stick your new one on. You don't have to replace the other pieces like this, but I do recommend go ahead and, I mean, you already got that far, take the rest off, and then you should be good to go. Put that AC back in, hook up the harness, your 4 lag bolts, you're just gonna compress those down evenly all the way across till that gasket is at least 80% compressed. Don't go too tight because then at that point your gasket's not going to last very long. But tight enough, you'll know when. And then outside of that, your AC is good to go.